and welcome to your daily branding tips. Now today I have a question from Jane Keogh. Jane, thank you so much for your question. It's a really good one and a very big one as well, so I hope that I can answer at least some of it, and it might be that I need to create a different video to touch on other areas because this is actually quite a big answer. So Jane's question today is, people have so many different perceptions of the world and so many different experiences and of course different views of the world. So how can you make sure that your brand says everything about you so that it touches on those different viewpoints? Okay, so I mean, it's quite a big question because obviously I have a totally different background to you, Jane, and to everybody else who's watching this video, and we could even have exactly the same experience but come out with two very different views. So in terms of creating a brand that can attract as many people as you can and to try and create a brand that doesn't alienate people, I really would be focusing on creating a brand that's based on my values. So what I would say to you, Jane, is make sure that you're creating a brand that's based on something that's true to you. Now, I know that you will be because I've known you for so long. But for those other people out there who are perhaps interested in this question as well, I've personally found that the best customers that I've ever had have always shared my values. Now, of course, everybody has a different upbringing and a different background, but what you can do is focus on a certain target audience who you know are going to share those values that you have. So sometimes it's quite key to alienate certain groups, and I have mentioned this in a video before that I think is already online. If not, it's going to be going up in the next week or so. And what I would say to you is just think about the colours, the fonts, the feeling, the music, the paper that you print your marketing materials on. Just think about what your core values are as a business and then make sure that everything you put out there is totally aligned. Now, for those of you who do know Miles and myself, you'll know that we are specialists in tactile branding. That's part of what we do, is really drill down into the psychological process of how you get your brand to communicate to somebody on a non-verbal level. And that's quite challenging. But the way we do that is to look at your brand, your customers, your values, and align them so that they all match up. Now, each value set has a different colour attached to it. Likewise, the customers that you are targeting, they will go for a certain type of colour as well. So it's about matching the two psychologically. Of course, we're experts in doing this. So when we create brand strategies for our clients, that's what we do. But without a brand strategy, if you're trying to do this yourself, it's worth you either talking to us about some colour psychology or do some research online to make sure that your values are being communicated in the way that your brand should be communicating them. So, for example, if your values are about quality relationships, integrity and creativity like ours are, you wouldn't use really harsh, straight typefaces. You'd have something with a curve to it. You'd want to make people feel nice and warm and, you know, like you're going to wrap them up in your brand when you work with them. And of course, if they've had a background where they have potential challenges or issues around not being treated fairly in the past, or they want to be looked after, then of course you're going to want to make sure that you do use warmer colours, rounder typefaces, an icon that gives the feeling of round, ongoing growth, you know, that kind of wrap me up and look after me. So if you want to be that kind of brand, then of course create that brand and you will naturally attract people who are attracted to somebody who's going to help them and that has those values of quality relationships. In terms of colour, Jane, you might also have noticed when you've been out networking, or you might have just been to a dinner or a cocktail party or a bar, and you might have had somebody come up to you and say, wow, you look amazing, I love that colour on you. Or oh, I really love that colour. I must get some of that myself. I've had that quite a few times. And what you'll find is the people that are really attracted to that colour more than likely share the values that colour means. So it's quite key. If you go to a networking event and you're trying to attract a certain type of target audience, you want to wear your value colours that you want to attract in others. What I'd also say to you is, if you have several businesses, as we do, just because your values, your core values, once you've worked them out, we do have a questionnaire. So if you want me to send it to you, do please put a comment in the box under this video and I'll send it to you. Now, if you want to do this questionnaire, it will tell you what your core values are as a business. Now, when you create those values, you're going to know exactly what your core values are. And we live, breathe and eat, sleep by our top 3 core values. As I mentioned them earlier, quality relationships, integrity and creativity. However, we have another brand called How to Build a Brand, which we're just about to launch. And that is totally different colours to Ice Innovation. And the reason for that is because 2 out of 3 of the core values that business means to other people are very different to the values of Ice Innovation. So it's about good quality knowledge. Sharing knowledge is our #1 core value at How to Build a Brand. Now, knowledge is a very orange colour, so we've used orange, black, leadership, so we've got lots of things in that brand that they mean very different. Now, what's interesting is integrity is still our #2 core value in all of our brands. It's our #2 core value. And really that's because Miles and I won't settle for anything less than integrity in any relationship that we have. So it's really important that runs through everything we do. Integrity is important to us, and the clients we work with, it's very important to them. And we want to target clients that have integrity really important to them. So Jane, I really, like I say, it's such a big answer, but what I would do is really focus your brand on your core values, know what they are, live and breathe by them, use them in your strap line, tell people what your core values are, start getting that information out there as much as you can about your values, even down to status updates on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube. When you're creating a status update, make sure that you have checked it against your values first, because if you're putting a status update up there that doesn't match your values, then again it's going to be misaligned to the kind of people that are going to respond to that and comment on your posts and share it. And if you've ever had that incident in the past where somebody has maybe commented something you didn't want to, then it might be because they've taken it the wrong way. So it's always worth checking it against your core values before you launch anything. The other thing you can do, obviously, is to just make sure that your brand is speaking to people using the 6 senses. So rather than just being visual, which is what most people do, I would be doing what we do, like I said earlier, use the same stock throughout all of your marketing materials. It's just that you might use a 300-gram board version of it for your business card, 120-gram for your letterhead, the same for your compliment slip, 250-gram for a flyer. You might print a brochure, that might be 300-gram cover, but 120-gram on the inside. Make sure whatever stock it is that you choose is exactly the same throughout everything you do, because again it's just that other little integrity type attention to detail that people really buy into. If everything's consistent, they've got no reason never to trust you. So think about that 6th sense, that trust sense. That's what, it's not the spooky 6th sense that we know and have grown up with. Think about that trust sense, that gut instinct. Because if you can get your business to look great, feel great using the stocks that you've got, even sound great using music. I posted a video yesterday which was about using music in your branding. Even down to smell. We have a smell for our business. So, if you want to have a smell for your business, make sure you choose one and then you stick to it, and it's wherever you go. So you need to be putting it on when you go to networking events, spray it on your business cards. People just do, honestly, they really, really accept this attention to detail as part of their trust factor. So this is a way of really communicating your values to people, Jane, and to start using your background and getting your values across to the type of clients that you want to attract. Because as you know, the meaning of your communication is the response you get. So what you put out there is exactly what you're going to get back. I hope that's been of value to you. I know it's a long one today, but like I say, it's such a big subject. I have written an article that goes with this video, which is already up and live. It's at www.iceinnovation.co.uk/blog, and you'll find it at Branding Your Business within the blog. It's one of the last posts that I've put up there so far to date. So yeah, I hope that this has helped you. If you've got any other questions, please post them in the comments underneath this box, and I'll also put a link to the blog post just in case. So take care, have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.